Oh,
I always,
cute.
the kids, I just, let's see. There you go.
Oh, thank you. I'm official now, girls. Welcome to another episode of A Girl Business Podcast. I'm your host, Shelby. Today with me I have Kris of the Fire-Sirens. She is a shop manager and board member for the nonprofit that supports the fire district here on the peninsula. So, Kris, thank you for your service for the community, and I am going to introduce you girls to Mandy later, Bernice's long-lost cousin, and I'll just let you take it as far back as you want to go, how you ended up here and on the board, and
Okay.
all the details.
Well, you know, I was a teenager. I guess that's when it started my attraction to firefighters. I was just very impressed with them. My boyfriend in high school was a volunteer fireman, and he was driving home and saw happened to be a Shelby Mustang that had driven off the road, and it was on fire. Well, he stopped, and some other people helped, but he was actually the one that saved her and got her out of the fire, and it just marked me, you know. But the want to hear the rest though is that he became a respiratory therapist at Kaiser Hospital and was standing doing notes or something, and a lady came up behind him and put her arms around him, and she was a doctor with a lab coat on, and that was the girl that he saved. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps.
Yeah. And just life is unbelievable. But that was my first. I just started thinking what firefighters do, even though he was just a volunteer, but he was trained to do this, and he saved her life. And then when my second son was 18 months old, we were living in the desert, and we had a swimming pool, and we thought we had everything safe. Well, all of a sudden, I heard my husband scream, and my 18-month-old Mark Franklin had fallen in the pool, and I was in the medical field, so I kind of knew that, but my husband called the fire department immediately. I'm not kidding. They must have been there in 3 or 4 minutes, and they saved his life. And not only the wonders, the miracle that they got him back, but they took care of me. They let me go in the fire truck with them to the hospital and hold him, and I just think it's a certain unbelievable person that can be like that. And so that's another thing that kind of got me hooked on this. And so when I retired, we moved up here. Lake Almanor had been our camping ground, literally, when we were younger, and then we got into renting places, and then we decided this is where we want to be. And so after I moved up here, I kind of was lost. I didn't know anybody, and so out shopping, came to the Sirens, and I don't know, it's like a magnet. I really liked it and started volunteering, and within a couple of years, I was managing the shop.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I really got here. But the wonderful volunteers, I'm telling you, it's just so wonderful to work around these people, and it's a win-win, you know, because we get wonderful donations and we sell them for inexpensive prices, so it's happiness on both sides, you know, because we're making money for the firefighters for things that the state doesn't support. You know, we're able to make sure that they've got their engines have new tires, or they have new boots or things, and so it's wonderful. They're great to work with, you know. Let's see, from there, I became the president for a year, but I really am not into that as much as I wanted to do the shop. And they never had a shop manager, but I said, let me try. And so I did, and I've been doing it ever since, and it's beyond rewarding, it's, but I am being faced, though, that I'm starting, by the actions that go on here, I think we need to change the name from Fire Sirens Thrift Shop to In and Out. Yeah, I can't tell you how fast the stuff comes in, the stuff goes out, the stuff comes in. And so, but that's it. It's really good, It's we are a small shop, so we have to be kind of picky with our donations. So I do them by appointment, or on Sundays from 11 to 1, and that seems to really been helping us. It's that we have other thrift shops in the area too, and so it's I like to support them, that we can't take it. I give them the address and they can go to the other.
So, okay, I have like a total sideline question, but you saw your boyfriend literally save someone out of a burning car.
I didn't. I was with him. He was my boyfriend. He was just coming home or to his house.
Yeah.
And this happened.
How does the next boyfriend top that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess it's the second one. He lit my fire. No. But I'm still really good friends with John.
Yeah.
He just one of the kindest people ever. So it's just hard to explain. There's certain things in life they mark you, And so, but I just think that I try to get everybody to share with everybody. These firefighters are miracles. They're one and only who they donate their life every single day. And what we went through here, the Dixie Fire, nothing would be here if it wasn't for them.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you said that you were living in the desert before you came to the lake?
Mm-hmm.
Were you guys like in Arizona or?
Palm Desert.
Palm Desert.
Palm Desert down south, down toward Mexico. Wonderful place. We moved there. It was 1986, and I had 2 kids. I had 2 little boys, and wonderful charter schools and whatever. But I've got a wonderful husband that he knew I loved my profession. I was a dietitian and a diabetes educator, and I don't know. I really liked it. He hated his job. He was in electronics. Really? So guess who became Mr. Mom? And so he stayed home and with the boys and took them to school and went to the PTA meetings and bought the groceries. Wonderful cook. And I got to the occupation that I dreamed of. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that my father's mother, my grandmother, wanted to be a dietitian. And I honestly did not know until I was.
What was that career path like, becoming dietitian?
I loved it. I really, really, especially my last 25 years was at Eisenhower, and I was a diabetes educator, so I was an instructor. I wasn't in the hospital. But my first 14 years I was, and it's okay, but it's hard. You take a lot home. But being an outpatient, it was fun. I could really help them and work with the physicians, and so. Diabetes is, I just it can be a good health disease. You just have to take care of it. Mm-hmm. If you eat right, and exercise, and, be healthy as can be. But, that it's where I felt when my first dietitian job, I was in oncology. Kind of hard, and I took a lot home. Right. But, that's when we decided to move to the desert, and life is amazing.
Yeah. And you retired. You came here for retirement.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like retirement didn't last very long.
Yeah, and so, Well, my mom introduced me to this when, oh boy, I was probably only 10 or 11, but she was really into estate sales and garage sales, and all of a sudden she'd always take me. And so I was aware of what this was kind of all about. And it was just amazing, everybody being kind of money oriented, what you could save, and you were doing somebody a favor by buying it. And so it was really fun, really good. And I just think, oh, my mom, she really knew what she was doing.
What was your mom's name?
Sally.
Sally?
And my maiden name was Smith, so her name was Sally Smith. You can't get much cuter than that.
That's pretty adorable. That's hard to beat.
Yeah, and so, and I don't know. I just feel like I've been blessed with my life. It's ups and downs on some things, but overall everything is good. And so, I was an avid horse girl, and I did hunters and jumpers, and for since I was 8 years old till I was 19, and absolutely, I think I've loved that horse more than anything in the whole world. That I did have a bad accident when I was 21. I wasn't riding anymore, but I couldn't keep the I was off going to college. I couldn't sell the horse, so I kept it. I had a little girl in the neighborhood saying, "I gotta see you jump. I want to see you jump." Oh, okay. And so went up there. This was 1971. I guess I had my huaraches on, my Mexican blouse, and cutoffs. Well, you don't do that with horses. Well, I guess our dog bit my horse, and as I was going to go over the jump, and he turned over and came down on me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it's a miracle I'm alive. They did pronounce me dead, and then a miraculous brain surgeon who actually was a resident at that time just did what he could, but I'm here. And I just think that it, I don't know sometimes when I think that when people or something, you're not going to, I was paralyzed my whole left side, and it was a strong thing, but it's my motto, never say never. And so I went back to college, and thanks to my friends, they all helped me. And then I was determined I was going to be a dietitian, and I did it.
What made you choose that path?
Well, I think part of it, my dad had a heart attack when he was like 42, and I went with my mom after he got discharged to see the dietitian, and I was very impressed with her. And my father lived to be almost 70, and so in my mind, it was how he ate, and just really, really got into it. And it was not an easy profession because you have to get your 4-year degree, but then you have to get an internship, to be qualified to become a registered dietitian. And I worked my last few years of college at Stanford Hospital being a diet aide on the weekends. And I had a wonderful dietitian I worked for. And she said, "You know how hard it is to get these internships?" I said, "Yeah, and you only get to apply to 2. And she goes, "I'm going to do what I can to see if I can get you something here." Because Stanford didn't offer one. Well, my God, she got it. And yeah, and so I wasn't accepted at the 2 that I applied for. And as long as I was going to stick out 18 months instead of 6 or 12, I could do it. And I did it.
Good for you.
Yeah. And so, and then, I don't know. I just can't, I've just been fortunate my whole life. It's, but ending up here, I mean, this is just wonderful. It's a win-win, for all of us, we all like it. And it's so rewarding to see what we can give to the firefighters and enable them to, things like, I guess it was a year or so ago, we gave them a defibrillator, which, that tells what the heartbeat is, what everything. So by the time they get the people to the hospital, they don't have to be writing everything down that it was, and gave them the time to take care of the people. So we felt good about it. We feel that anything we can do for them, it's wonderful.
And you said that the thrift shop helps to pay for things that the state program won't.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a large lapse in what they have to pay for out of pocket and what the state provides? Like, was that surprising for you to learn?
It was. I just, there were certain things that I thought, really? They don't pay for that. And I think one of the things that is kind of, we pay for their continuing education. And I think the state, I really don't want to get into government, but some things are hard to understand. But we're able to make them the best that they can be, and so, and the best part for me is their appreciation, the hugs I get every time I see them, and they do, they're wonderful, and I think when we have 3 big sales, one on Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, and I'm telling you, I'm here. Before the sun comes up, they're waiting for me. And they're going to help me. And that's always been, just we have such a good team. There is more. The Fire Sirens was established back in the 60s, and it was a little bit more social than we are now. And so they would have luncheons and dinners, and then they'd all go out and play golf, or they'd all go. And so it kind of dwindled down from that. And that's what our president right now, her grandmother was actually the first president of Sirens. And so now we've got her as her granddaughter. So, but to see the changes, and I'm sure there's, this life, there's going to be a lot more. But we still do a Christmas luncheon and a few special things, like we next month, I guess, we're going to have what we call a meet and greet. And so when the shop is open, the volunteers are out there with a table and umbrella, trying to get people to join. And it's not, a requirement that if you join, you have to do anything. No, you just are a part of us. And want to volunteer, you can volunteer for 10 minutes. I don't care. So you're not set on a schedule, and it's we do. We're honestly, we've had a few problems recently that some of the men are upset. Why is it just women?
Oh, well, that's obvious, because women rock.
yeah. And so it is a challenge, and we voted and stuff, and it's pretty hard to change. But they'll get invited to some of our social things, but mostly women.
I like that.
Yeah. And we want to keep it that way. And so we do have some female firefighters.
Wow.
So, yeah, and that's been fun.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, and so it's just ever changing, So it's but I just feel very fortunate, that being in a community like this that is so caring, that the donations are fantastic, and we get so many. Our prices are low, so because it keeps coming, but in the long run we make a lot, and so it's and it's just so rewarding to at a meeting, have the firefighters come in with some new equipment or something. Thank you, guys. And so they're very good. And so,
Do you think you would have been able to retire, or are you the kind of girl that likes to have a project, likes to stay busy?
yeah, I can't. I got to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very hard to explain because, during the pandemic and stuff, I was here. I couldn't have anybody help me. I didn't care. I was painting and I was doing, but it enabled me to really set the shop up like I wanted to. And and the firefighter, we all just wore our masks and we did. But I think that was a big part too, that I spent so much time. But it was, and honestly, my husband, wonderful and stuff, but he would say, going to Sirens today? Yeah, Sirens today? It's, that 24/7 during that pandemic wasn't easy. And so I think it saved our marriage too.
It's good to have separate interests.
Yeah. And so, overall, I just think I can't think of anything that would be more rewarding, especially the way I feel about the firefighters. It's very special people. And I don't think people are aware of how much they do. Yeah, they really are amazing.
What are some ways that people can help?
Well, shop. No.
I actually do need a new table. I need a new kitchen table.
Oh, and that's the whole thing too, is that it is hard. Somebody can, I really like it, but I gotta think about it. I'll say, don't do that. Because they can come back a half hour later and it'll be gone. Because we can't do, it. When I first was manager, I'd try, I'll hold it. Okay, you'll be back at 2. We can't do it, So we do what we call a sold and hold. And so if they will buy it, we will keep it for 24 hours or whatever. If they can come pick it up whenever they could, we will do that. But we can't hold it, for them to come by later. And so that it is one of the hard things when they come in. Oh no, you sold it.
Sorry.
Yeah. And so yeah. But everything about it is fun. It's this back room where Mandy's standing, that used to be a storeroom, and clothes were out here, and it took up too much room, and we couldn't make enough money off the clothes, so we decided we can make that into a door, and we did, and so we changed the storage room, which was, we're still working on it. It still isn't really finished. The walls aren't finished and stuff, but we just hang clothes. You can't see it. And then it's the clothes part. We are really picky, and our prices, we charge $5 for anything. If they buy Levi's, if they buy a formal, if they buy a suit. But coats and shoes and boots cost. The shoes are $5 if they're just regular shoes, and $10 if they're boots. And so, very reasonable price, so they go fast. And so, it keeps our clientele coming. They know we're getting new stuff every week. And so, and I've got wonderful volunteers. I've got one that is basically a fantastic realtor, stager, and she has taught me so much. And I send her pictures of everything I get. And she'll say, put that over there. No, put that pillow on here. And, it really helps. And then she's also into the media advertising. And so she's got us on Facebook and stuff like that. Because we used to, it was really tough after the pandemic. We didn't have a newspaper. We didn't really have it. And, the county does not want you putting up signs on their property. And so, but, my motto, never say never. I happened to get a connection with the person that owns all the property on Clifford Drive that comes up. And I said, can I put a sign on your property?
I saw it. It's
Yes,
that big
that's
one.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great
so-
sign.
As long as he doesn't sell the property, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And the realtors have been wonderful for us, because the sales and the purchases, a lot of people selling their houses completely furnished, and they just call me, come on, pick out what you want, and then they bring it down, and it's really good. And our biggest problem has been space, and so that's where a year and a half ago, we put up a carport. And it's okay, but it's still not the shop. But we can store stuff. And we have the outdoor, where we can have a man's cave. And man's cave has been a very good thing for our thrift shop, because mostly ladies want to shop here. But a lot of them bring their husbands, and I felt bad. They'd sit out there on the bench and wait and wait. And then I said, oh, we're going to do a man's cave. And so they love it, And most of the stuff, I don't know what it is, but they can look through it, and they can, and you hear them talking to each other. We have no idea what stuff costs. So, what do you want for this? $1? Whatever, it's a profit. So but it just keeps growing, and that's I'm just anxious every day. What's next? This was the first year that when I first became a siren, they were open from Memorial Day to Labor Day today, and I said, no, we can open earlier than that. So then we started opening in April. And then we started staying open until October. And then I thought, the holidays, people are up here. So this past year, we stayed open all year. And so we only did Saturday. We usually do Wednesdays and Saturdays from 9 to 1. And then after December, we just did Saturdays from 9 to 1, and we did okay. It's really it's a vacation spot. So when all the vacationers come up, we boom, But it was still fun to keep contact with all the locals, and we got a lot of donations. But we'll see. The big thing. I don't want to get into the business part of it, but we just realized that we did not have a liability insurance in here. And make a short story, a lady fell. She was okay, but it just opened my eyes to, and so we, as of last Friday, are insured.
Oh,
and
nice.
So, yeah, but it's still, I think of the winter and the snow and the rain. We shouldn't, it's too risky. We're putting rugs out there and stuff like that. No, it's, there are, we have to put safety first. That's, and we didn't have it. No one slept last year, but I think it's too risky.
So what's the history of the shop? How did the shop come about for the
Well,
Sirens?
it was our president now, Christy, her grandma, just started wanting to help support this fire district and firefighters, and so they started, and I think it was mostly first just meetings, and then they did luncheons and things, and then somehow this little building was here, wasn't finished, and they decided that they'd do a shop. And then it just kind of went like wildfire. And it, it's had its challenges, just like the economic things and everywhere, but we just hung in there. And it's the it is hard. A lot of people, you guys volunteer. We love it. It's hard to explain. That we put in hours and stuff, but it's so rewarding. That it's rewarding too that we're able to make our firefighters do a better job, making it easier for them. And so, and it is, when I'm here, I'm telling you, that truck is going, and sometimes it's 3 of them in a row, so it's the community, how badly that they're needed so much, and so it's we want to do all we can to keep them going.
Yeah. Were there any learning curves for you going from working as a dietitian to now you're basically working in retail?
Yeah.
So what type of learning curves were there?
That's what makes it wonderful. I love new challenges, something new. And there were times it was tough, especially, communication with people. It's different when you're running a shop as being a dietitian. You're helping somebody, and you try to be nice, but you can't do that with retail, and that you just have to be strong. And it's been tough sometimes, but my volunteers are always there for me too. No specials today. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our prices are low, so they really seldom, they're just happy to get it. And then you'll probably see around the shop I've got everything fireman oriented. Our Dalmatians are all over the place, but it's have you hugged a fireman today? Did you thank, and so just the awareness that when they are buying something, what it's going towards. And it's, it's just a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are there any exciting plans that the Fire Sirens have, or any events, or any projects you're looking
we've got our
forward
4th of July coming up. That's one of the things that we really have fun with. Our 3 big sales. We have a parking lot sale, and so we move everything. We keep the shop open, but then we save up stuff, and then we do the big sales then, and it's just really fun, And we do things like we have what we call a $5 bag sale. And it's for all the things that really haven't sold in the shop that we put out on the tables and we tell people, fill up the grocery bag, and it's $5. So they buy a bag and then they can put whatever they can fit in it.
That's
and so,
fun.
yeah. And so I loved one of my volunteers at one of the last sales. We had quite a bit of clothes that we hadn't sold, and so we moved it out. And she was telling him, roll them up, and you can get a lot more in the bag. And so I just think that, and it again is, we're here for both sides. It's to make the community happy too.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, we just keep coming up with new ideas and things that will, enable us. The carport was, we've got challenges there because of the moisture and stuff in the winter. We have to take everything out of there, and unless it's yard stuff. But it's hard to believe that mist and moisture and stuff can really get through to stuff. And so, that's what life is. Live and learn. So.
Yeah. Were there hurdles for you guys when you moved from the desert area to the lake? Especially winters are sometimes hard for people.
Yes, we were not oriented to snow at all. And so the house that we bought had a straight up driveway.
Oh.
And it was fairly long, and we had no idea. I mean, there were times that there was a whole month we couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, you could not, and it was the safety of it, but also the you could snowplow, couldn't even go with it. So, but again, that's how you learn. And so, and with you just don't think we're retiring, we're old. What do we have, a straight up driveway? And it was also a 3-story house.
Oh my goodness.
With stairs. And so, well, you'll never guess what we moved into. A circular flat driveway and this was something too that my husband and I have always been challenged by things that, like I do here. Fix them. Something's wrong, leg's broken, fix it. Well, we bought a house that had gone up for auction.
The foreclosure.
Foreclosure, yeah. And oh boy, it was bad. But anyway, it's very little and got a huge garage for my husband's cars. He loves cars, and we had to put it back together ourselves the way we wanted to. So, again, that's life is about learning. Is that the flat circular driveway, neighbors on both sides. That was hard living in here because most of the places are summer places for people, and we understood that after we tried to make a winter through here.
You saw why people summer only.
Yeah, but in Lake Almanor, when we actually discovered it, 4-wheel driving and camping, and I thought, what is this? And we to this day say it's the undiscovered Lake Tahoe. It is so beautiful, and it was one of the worst times. I loved Sunset Magazine. I'd always read it and stuff. And then they did an article on Lake Almanor. I thought, don't do that. Yeah. But so far, so good. It's still not Tahoe. It's a Tahoe. Oh, dear. And I guess that's... I just never had any idea this place existed.
Do you think you could ever live anywhere else now?
Oh, that's a hard one. Both my boys live in Portland, and Portland is nice. But, it's really their age group, so it's, honestly, I'm comfy, I'm cozy. I love Lake Almanor.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you said that if people want to help, of course, come and shop.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like you girls are also... Are you always looking for volunteers, or what's the volunteer
members.
situation?
Yeah, all you have to do, and I've got all the forms and everything, and you just, we have a $10 a year dues, and that enables you to put on your badge and come volunteer if you want to. You don't have to, and so you have to do what you like to do. I've had, all my volunteers I've got the best librarian possible. She takes care of all the books, and she has them all. We have what we call a book nook, and oh, it is so cute, and it looks so good. And it just happens that her son works for one of the big book keepers, or one of the real big, and so guess we get a lot of donations from them.
Oh, wow.
And so that's really good. And then I've got some that are cleaning freaks. And so they come in and they polish everything, and then I've got one that'll vacuum. We're just a team, and it's then there's a couple of us that do the donations that people are really good about it, and I'll just say, oh, we don't have the room, and so some too really have an eye, for they can spot things. And I call Carol our interior decorator, that she can make anything look good. It's unbelievable. I'll think, that was that chair? But just the little things that can make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And but being a volunteer, anything you want to do, you like to polish shoes? Great. It's that hanging clothes too and sorting them. And that's the thing that we do too, is that we watch them. If they don't sell, they go in the next bag sale. And so we just package them up. And so our Christmas, we call it our it's the Friday and the Friday after Thanksgiving, and we call it our holiday sale, and we do the whole shop.
So it's like a Black Friday.
Yeah, yeah, and they come here.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, and it really has worked out well. And then we have a Christmas luncheon. It's usually like the first weekend in December. So the Christmas stuff we haven't sold, we take to the luncheon, and so we have prizes and all that. So this Fire Sirens is wonderful. And rewarding in so many ways. And so,
what does a typical week look like for you?
Well, it's sometimes I think I should have a bed in here. Yeah, this gets tempting, but
they are super comfy, and these are for sale, right?
Oh yeah,
they're really, really comfy.
I can't explain. People think, what's wrong with her? I just love what I do, and I love the volunteers that help me. And so when we start working on something, away we go. So, but we've also have support within the community. I had one of our resident, big strong man that he comes and helps. He put up the door for the garage. He's going to put a pegboard on all our walls, so we don't have to keep putting hanging pictures and stuff like that. Nice. He's even going to paint it white for us. And he just came in the other day and he says, "I'm working on it." I said, "Okay."
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
So are you here pretty much 7 days a week, or?
Well, maybe not 7, but sometimes, we're open 2, and then we have donations in 1, maybe 5.
Yeah, you're a busy retired lady.
Yeah, and then it's just, this is such a neat community. I do the depositing for what money we make. I go to the bank. I love the bank. Yeah. I've gotten to know them, so it's, I don't know. It's being in different areas, and Palm Desert it started that way. It was kind of small, but by the time we left, the El Paseo was we were kind of like we were living in Hollywood, So it was time to go. And so, but I encourage people. I think life is so darn short. Take advantage of it. There's so many wonderful things for us to do, and But at the moment, I'm not having anything that can think I want to move on. I think this grows so fast and so changes all the time. It never gets boring. And so.
And what advice would you give to someone that's watching this that might want to get involved either with the Fire Sirens or any type of organization? What advice would you give them?
If you like to have fun, come here. It's and it really is a thing of your choice, of what you are good at or you feel good about. It's and we just have fun. It's and it's so darn rewarding. To know where all this money goes to. It's and it's I just think that people, the word volunteer, it's up to you. It's not like you're on a schedule. You don't have to come on Wednesday, or you come when you feel like it. And I'm just kind of the big sales. I like to make sure I've got volunteers, that will be here to cover. But there have been times it doesn't bother me. I'll run the shop by myself. I guess I'm comfortable with the clientele, the customers we get. They're very fortunate.
And for anybody that's watching that might want to donate, is there anything in particular that you girls are looking for that could be donated?
That's a hard one, because it just seems like we get overloaded with one thing, who knows when. You know, I remember, I think last summer, we must have gotten 25 vacuums in 2 weeks.
Oh my, how random.
I guess women don't want to vacuum anymore. And then a few weeks later, ironing boards. Everybody's giving us ironing boards. You know, but it is, we just never know. You know, and so the furniture is really our big money maker and stuff. But we're so limited with space. You know, but we squeeze in what we can. And so, and that's what my wonderful Carol, her interior decorator, has taught me how to stack. You know, and you'll see everything is on top of each other. But we just make sure that nobody tries to get anything down. We try to keep the pillows and stuff up high. But sometimes, you know, some of the furniture's on top of each other. We have insurance now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still it looks great, even though there's stacks of stuff, it looks purposeful, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we make sure and tell everybody, you know, you want something high, you ask for help.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah.
So is there anything about the thrift shop that you'd like the community to know, or anything that you'd like to bring awareness to for the shop?
Mostly when we're open. You know, I think through the pandemic and through the fires, we lost the newspapers. We lost ways, so it's getting the word out. And so that's mostly. And it's being inside a country club. A lot of times they think that they can't come. They have to be a part of the country club. And no. The gates are open on Wednesdays and Saturdays. You just say they're going to Sirens. And that's, I think that our advertising with the neighborhood networks and Facebook has really brought us a lot of people. And word of mouth, gets out. And so, but, you know, I understand, you know, the newspapers and things, and I do think we should save our trees. You know, we can find another way. But that was what we started with, and so it was hard to get into something else.
Yeah.
But these wonderful volunteers I have that are a little bit younger than me, and so they're more into this technical stuff, and it's great. Yeah.
You're like, good for you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind taking the pictures and doing all this kind of stuff, but when it comes to doing the setup, and she knows the timing and all that, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely like a whole nother world. It's like its own beast.
Yeah,
all the social media stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of scary to me because I don't think I understand it, and I'm afraid I'll do something wrong. Yep, we have to close the station. Now, Kris put this on. Yeah, it's that, you know, it's again, I would always say I'd like all these changes in a way. You know, but it's scary to take on a responsibility. I love doing the shop, but doing stuff on the media.
Yeah.
So.
Well, like you said, everybody has their own thing.
Yeah.
And you girls welcome anyone that wants to help in any kind of way. And
yeah, and that's how we have such a wonderful team. You know, because they've chosen the area that they're really good at. You know, it's you know, I think one of my volunteers, she's got several grandchildren and stuff. She is so on top of all the kids' stuff. You know, look what came in today. And she's decorating the crib, and she's got, you know, and so the whole kids area, you know, she's got perfect, you know, and so, and then we've got some too that are kind of chefs, you know, and so they know this cookware, this stuff that what is this, you know, and so it's really good. And so, the wonderful thing is that we can keep our prices so low because we got, you know, the turnaround. A lot of happy campers. And, so, and it's the, you know, but everything's learning. I just can't say that the thing with never ever entered my mind about insurance.
Yeah.
Oh,
Insurance is
dear.
a big one.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be a good piece of advice. Make sure you have the insurance that you need, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, it's so much assumption, that, oh, we're part of the fire department. No, we're Sirens thrift shop. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. And so, that, but things happen for a reason. It's terrible to say, but that lady she was just standing there, buying something and just went straight down to the ground.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a wonderful, dear lady. Don't, and just me to say, oh, what if, and all of us, the volunteers, we try our best to keep it safe, and so they won't trip over something or whatever. But sometimes it's hard, and you get a lot of shoppers in here and they move stuff, and so, but yeah, we only trip that somebody fell and didn't fall, but they tripped over a metal bed frame. We don't take those anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you just have to learn.
Yeah, learn as you go.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you've mentioned a few times that your life has been really good, and you're clearly like a really positive, optimistic person, and I think that's wonderful. So if any of the girls are watching this and they might be going through something tough, what advice would you give them?
Life is short. Don't, I guess it's, being a dietitian for 35 years, make sure you eat right. And I think it's not that you have to have the basic 4 at each meal, but make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure that you, give yourself fuel. That's why I think I got, somebody donated a little college refrigerator, and so I've got it back here in our with the cleaning supplies and stuff, and filled with Gatorade and water, and we're only open for 4 hours, but you still, as I tell everybody, and I do have one volunteer, Deborah. She's always saying, Kris, where's your water?
I know I'm horrible. I have my coffee
Yeah,
here.
and it really works. I used to hate it. It tasted awful. So, but being a dietitian, I learned that every 30 days you get new taste buds. And so you can develop a taste. Well, I said, stick it out. And so now I love it. I can't, any flavor, Gatorade, yum.
We call them hyperfixations.
Yeah, and it really does work.
Yeah.
It's we need those electrolytes. We really do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to get all my volunteers in on it too. Because they'll go, oh God, I have really leg cramps. I said, you didn't drink your Gatorade.
Which flavor is your favorite?
I like the lemon lime.
Really?
Yeah, I like them all though. The blueberry's really good too.
Yeah.
Orange is okay, but it makes your teeth get orange.
Oh, that's good.
They'll have some people say something. Oh my God.
I like the I love anything cherry flavored.
Oh yeah, the fruit punch one.
Yes,
too?
I love I'm a red girl, but sometimes that same thing.
Mhm.
There was a lot of dye in there, but
Somebody say, oh, I like your lipstick. Oh no, it's fruit punch.
So I would love to do a tour for the
Okay,
girls.
all right.
Before we close up on the interview, do you have any final words of advice or anything that you'd like the community to know or anything that you'd like to share? How can the people reach you? What's your address? All that good stuff.
I'll give you my card.
Perfect.
And, I'll give them to anybody that wants them. And kind of, you'll see it explains when we're open, explains what we do. And it's... I just say it's ongoing fun. It's. I think again, I one of the things I felt that we needed a logo, and so that's what I'll show you what it is. What we did is we made a fire engine into almost like a garbage truck, but it's got all the stuff we have in the shop in the back of the fire engine. So the fire engine, then it's got a broom and it's got a bicycle and so that's Fire-Sirens motto.
I love that. I'm excited to see it.
I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
I can go get it now.
All right, let's do a tour here.
We made into our clothes area. And so...
It smells good back here.
Yeah.
It smells really nice.
Oh, I'm very picky about cleanliness.
It smells good in here.
And we just have like our shoe, and this is our extra rack that we take outside when we open. And there's our purses and our shoes. And this is where my wonderful book lady does all her sorting and everything, and that's where we keep all our cleaning stuff. And then as far as clothes, we kind of do seasonal, and we get these brand new bathing suits and stuff. They're just beautiful.
Some cute stuff. I actually, last time I was here, I bought a skirt and it was Land's End.
Yeah.
Really cute stuff.
Yeah, and we try to keep Lake Almanor stuff too. We have all the Lake Almanor t-shirts and golf shirts and it's just such a learning experience. I can't tell you how many baseball caps we sell. So it's
girls have some cute stuff.
Yeah. Really, a lot of really different things. It's
yeah, some kids' boots. That's always nice.
That's cute.
Yeah. Some kids' snowshoes.
And then this is just kind of a little extra storage for other things we'll just stuff underneath. Sometimes we get a lot of artwork, and we only have so much wall space.
Mm-hmm. And this is Mandy.
Yeah, Mandy. She watches the shop for us.
Hello, Mandy. We were saying that Mandy's very fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
She's very fashionable.
Yeah. It just really is fun when there's new people. And they'll say, "Oh, who's that?" You didn't tell me there's a lady in the back. And then these are our double doors. So when somebody buys furniture or something, that's why I keep something on rollers so we can roll it out and then move the furniture out.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, the firefighters will help us sometimes.
You have a bunk bed?
It's too big of an item or something.
Quilts?
I've got to tell you about our quilting lady.
Oh my goodness.
She supplies us with these beautiful quilts, all different sizes. Here's just an example. Here, just a little dot, and she's got bigger ones. Does them all by hand.
Oh my goodness.
They're all brand new. Let's see this one. Unreal.
Yeah.
I always say, how are you doing? Are you out? You want me to ship you some more? Okay. And so, yeah, it's really nice. And we try to change things, as far as locations. And the furniture is really where we can keep it. But that's Carol, my interior person. She just has such an eye. Mm-hmm. And she can put this stuff.
I love this partition.
Yeah, we just got that. Isn't that neat?
My gosh.
I've never seen one like that. And but that's what people will say, where did this stuff come from? And then we've also done jewelry, and we just basically, I don't know, jewelry, none of us really do. So they're all $5, unless we see something that is really extra special. But most everything's $5. And then Carol made these cute little tags, with here's her.
Oh, is this the logo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, how cute.
It's me. That's how that's shop.
Perfect. I'll put this in the video.
And then we always decorate. If it's Easter, if it's whatever, it's when you walk in that you're entering the season.
Perfect.
But our big sale's all red, white, and blue. So it's but you can see some of this stuff. I shouldn't have all these dishes on here. This is a pool table And yeah, and you can flip it over. The door goes through to the other side, and we're not real anxious to sell it, so it's really neat. The other one are these chairs. They're from Italy, and they're again that they don't take up much space, but they get a lot of liquors. But they're the most expensive thing I think we've ever had. But the antique person in Italy said that they go for $2,000 each.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a bargain.
Yeah. That's, if somebody wants them. And here's our book nook. Yeah, and she just did such a fantastic job.
Look at all the Dalmatians, like you were saying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
how
all the things that we
cute.
want are too high. You know, we don't want people reaching up there.
Yeah.
So,
Lots of books.
yeah, it's but really, I gotta, I think Shelby needs one of these.
Oh,
I always,
cute.
the kids, I just, let's see. There you go.
Oh, thank you. I'm official now, girls.
And, you know, kitchen stuff, we try to have a little bit of everything, you know, so, but sometimes we get overloaded, you know. Recently, so many puzzles, but people are really into puzzles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so we only take good ones, but you'll see it's just kind of a combination of whatever. But we try to keep coffee makers and things that vacationers, you know, we don't have this.
Mm-hmm.
We got it. That's, and, I should, and this is, again, my interior decorating. Look at what a difference this makes.
Oh, that does make a huge
Yes, that's
difference.
it.
Yes. Just small little things that
Yeah.
totally make a difference.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And when people donate the fake plants and stuff, it works out. Then we always have people pulling them down. How much is this one? You know. We're very picky with our linens too. Most of them have to be new. You know, it's I've heard nightmares about them. But
This is beautiful.
yeah.
And the couch, too. You girls always have the best furniture.
Well, we're pretty picky.
Oh, are these TV trays?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. For only $10, that's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yes. Right now it's very popular bed frames, headboards. We've got, you'll see out in the carport. Oh, gee.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's, like I say, you never know. I think this will probably sell. This again, it's very, to me, it's very, very into the lake. So.
Yeah, even the bedding that is with it is beautiful. The bed set.
Yeah. It's amazing how we get stuff. You know, yeah. And sometimes it'll come one after the other. I say, oh, did you bring this with this? No. This is where it depends. We get all these stools and they're beautiful, but I think, where do we put them?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know if you want to see that.
Rugs. Oh, yes, man's cave. What's this? Sofa. Oh, cool. This is the man's cave.
Yeah, and then we have all the sporty stuff. You know, we'll have the golf and water skis, snow skis.
Wakeboard. You guys
Yeah.
have 2 kayaks.
Yeah.
Bikes.
Sometimes this sporting stuff, they'll come in, they'll buy it and then they donate it the next day. And they said, we have to go home. Yeah, we just wanted to use it. And I said, thank you.
Really nice furniture. Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, we just never know. I mean, right now it seems like it's so crowded. And I think, after tomorrow, may I go?
And tomorrow, we're filming. Today is Tuesday. We're filming, and tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Wednesday and Saturdays, you're open.
Yeah, 9 to 1.
9 to 1. And like you said, you're in the country club, but you do not have to be part of the country club to get in. You just let the gate know what you're here for. The thrift shop right next to the fire station. Here it is.